What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. Now, this is a video that I had to do over. I don't like when I make a video and I don't put it out right away. It just, no information changed on this, but I made this video last week and I have to do it again. And I just want to say, plus I want to make it shorter. Terrence Crawford, you are fucking bugging. Terrence Crawford, as accomplished as you are, you wouldn't want anybody to try to take your accolades, right? That really don't matter. I don't think Errol Spence gives a shit about what she said. And it just go to show you, though, man, when people start feeling themselves, people are not as real as you think they are. Now, we respect what Bud did in the ring. And listen, when you fought Errol Spence, you wiped the floor with them. Whether the weight meant something, maybe whether it trained him or not, whatever it is, I think bottom line, before that fight even happened, I said Errol Spence is going to have to be different. Bud is just going to have to be Bud. Simple. And pretty much what ended up happening was one guy went there, two guys went there, and the better man won. It's just as simple as that. Okay, well, Terrence Crawford says Errol Spence isn't a Hall of Famer. He just arrogantly says, I can retire right now and I'm going to Hall of Fame, which is true. But at the same time, he starts talking about Errol Spence is only fought at one weight class. And then it's funny. They asked him to name 5 Hall of Fame fighters, all-time greats. He names Marvin Hagler as one of them. I've been saying this shit for years. You can't deny the skills of Marvin Hagler. But when you start talking about accomplishments, then you can't even put Marvin Hagler in the conversation when you talk about multiple championships in different divisions. Now, does that mean he couldn't beat some of these same guys that had multiple championships in different divisions? No, that doesn't mean that, right? But we talking about what the numbers say. We're talking about statistics, right? So you sound stupid as fuck saying Marvin Hagler is one of the all-time greats, which he is, and talk about a Hall of Famer, which he is, yet he only fought one division. So what is your point? Understand what I'm saying? And for Errol Spence, he got some solid names on his resume and the whole nine. Man, here he go putting in different guys in there and says Errol Spence is trying to chase what he's already done. Yet the same man, Terrence Crawford, sits in the interview and talk about how people put black fighters down and how they don't want to give black fighters their credit. What the fuck do you think you did when you sat there and discredited Errol Spence? Don't matter what the fuck you say. Errol Spence is definitely a Hall of Fame fighter. And let's be real. There's some motherfuckers in the Hall of Fame that don't belong in that motherfucker. So there's people that's in there. If they're in there, Errol Spence belongs in there. I mean, and you guys are weird, man. Because you guys will take a no-talent having, one-trick pony type motherfucker, a liar, an excuse maker, and try to get behind that fighter and talk about, man, you ain't supporting the black. But then you got black fighters that's out here really, on their grind and winning fights and not making excuses. They just go out there and win. And for the record, Errol Spence referenced Terrence Crawford as pound for pound the best fighter in the world. Now, I'm not saying Terrence Crawford should lie about how he feel. What I'm trying to understand is how the fuck could you possibly feel like Errol Spence is not an all-time great? That's what puzzles me. That's what puzzles me. And in your own logic, he only fought in one division, as did Marvin Hagler. Manny Pacquiao. I got something about Manny Pacquiao too. And we've been saying he's an 8-time champion, right? That's what y'all been saying. And I remember them saying Manny Pacquiao was a 6-time world champion. And I was like, 8? All right, maybe it's something I missed. Now, I didn't really give a fuck, but I did some digging on this guy. And then a couple of people was like, yo, you know what? Other motherfuckers went out and did the same shit. But it doesn't matter. Y'all claim the fame was that, but he won more championships than Floyd, so he's greater. How the fuck you greater than somebody you can't beat? Mr. I tore my rotator cuff. Then I took a swim in some sea salt water, and I was healed. God healed me. Yeah. Well, I tell y'all what. A true story is Manny Pacquiao still chasing what Floyd did. He wanted to be able to say he's better than Floyd so bad. Even him beating Keith Thurman don't change shit. I don't give a fuck who he beat. I don't care if he beat Mike Tyson. He ain't beat Floyd when they fought. Now that's a person that was always trying to be considered the greatest, wanted to be considered better than Floyd, lost to Floyd, fought, came back. They talking people, oh, if he beats Keith Thurman, just push him over Floyd. How, stupid? How, you dumb fuck? They fought, and he lost. How the fuck did you put him over Floyd? That just means he can beat Keith Thurman. What the fuck does that mean with him fighting Floyd? So when you talk about stats and accomplishments, see, that's what this bullshit generation is all about. I don't give a fuck. Like I always said, for example, if we play basketball and I score 28 points a game and the guy that I'm guarding, the star player on the other team is scoring 40 points a game. As long as we win, that's what I care about. The only time them stats matter is if we're playing one-on-one. Because then it's just me versus you. And in the one-on-one, if a guy is getting mostly decision wins and completely putting on a master class of boxing or whatever, but he's winning and his opponent is getting all these knockouts, and then all of a sudden you fight that guy, he can't knock you out, you beat him on points, and they say, oh, you're boring, oh, he don't has a crowd pleasing style. Well, why don't these opponents that y'all consider so badass, why can't they figure out how to stop this shit? Why can't they beat the slick boxer? Why can't they go knock the slick boxer out? All that shit don't mean nothing. You can talk about who's most exciting, who's this, who's that. Certain people might get more ratings or get more attention because of their style. Look at what fucking Tank is going through right now. And you know who Tank got in there and had a problem with? Not another brawler, not somebody fight similar to him, but a guy that's a boxer. Tank is a puncher, he's a mover, and he's a thinker. But at the same fucking time, man, come on, y'all. He fought to a draw. Let's just say it like that. We know what really happened. He fought to a draw with a guy that hardly anybody thought could beat him. But now, we at a point of let's just discredit people because we like that guy better. But now look at what Tank is going through. It's like, hold up, Tank. Damn, what's going on, right? All right. You can't take nothing from Tank. And the funny thing is, if you listen to what my comments were versus other people, I don't think he fought like a bitch. I don't think he went there and punked out. I think he went there and fought a guy that was determined. That guy, Lamont Roach, came to fight and fought him better than he thought he was going to do. And guess what? I tell you guys, you never know what's going to happen come fight night. And that's pretty much how that went. Like I said, even the him saying grease was in his eye and all whatever. Nah, it wasn't him. It was the referee. He took his knee and was able to talk the ref out of the motherfucking counting, right? That's the referee's fault. That's the referee's fault. The cushion, the protection was there, obviously. Ask yourself this question. If the shoe was on the other foot, would the ref do the same thing for Lamont Roach? So I'm just saying, yeah. We come to these stupid ass conclusions based on what? Man, come on. I don't understand how these guys sit here and talk all this shit. And let's not forget, nothing against Bud, but Bud is the same fucking guy that sat here and said, I'm at a point in my career, I can do what I want, fight whoever I want, I don't give a fuck how nobody feel, what they say. Fuck them. That's what he said. So in other words, even if you're a so-called fan of mine, as long as you agree with me, we're good. You disagree, fuck you. Fuck you right back. And that's Terrence Crawford and any other motherfucker. You sitting up here rich off of other people's money for supporting your fucking career. And this is what bullshit that you and Canelo and you motherfuckers with that mindset. I can do what I want. Okay, cool. Well, you can say what you want and so fucking we. You can do what you want and so the fucking I don't know about the rest of these motherfucking scrubs who be sitting around here sucking up to these fighters, but that was some fucking fuckboy shit that Terrence Crawford did. Say it like it is. That was some fuckboy shit. Because even for you to sit here, and here go the thing, to show you, he made a hypocrite out of himself. Terrence Crawford fucking said, this fight with Errol Spence is the fight of the century. This is this decade's version of Leonard versus Hearns. How the fuck do you have the biggest fight of the century against a motherfucker that's not a Hall of Famer? You make him sound like he's just some mediocre motherfucker, right? Well, that's what he looked like when y'all got in the ring. But at the same fucking time, I'm just saying, yo, you shitting on your own accomplishment. Because basically, if somebody, like when Canelo say you done nothing, how the fuck dare you open your mouth and say, I fought this guy, I fought Errol Spence, who you just fucking discredited. So you basically taking away from your own achievement. And then you talking about people don't give black fighters their credit. You know, black fighters this and that. Black fighters don't win by a knockout, they're going to get robbed. If black fighters don't win by a knockout, they say they boring. You defended Shakur Stevenson and all this shit. But then you turn around and say, Errol Spence is not a Hall of Famer, man. You tripping, bro. You a fucking tripping, big time. Then you want to know what? That's why I said, when Canelo say you've done nothing, and talk about what you've done is at the smaller weights, but you've done nothing. Okay. Now defend yourself and bring up Errol Spence's name. That shit is crazy, man. Black fighters, you know, people don't support black people. I mean, bro, you know the crazy thing for me, I'm like this. I don't praise none of you motherfuckers. I'm not a fan of none of you motherfuckers. I just give the boxing news, and I love the combat sports in general. Boxing in particular being my number one. But, man, I don't look at none of you motherfucking fighters like no celebrity or nothing. Like you're above anybody. You're just people that chose a different profession in life. You know, you went a different route, and without us, you have no fucking career. And I don't respect when people say shit like, I'm at a point I could do whatever I want, and I don't care how nobody feel or what they right. Them same motherfuckers putting money in your fucking pocket. That's who you talking about. Because your critics are gonna be the ones that's watching you fight. And you don't think a motherfucker gotta say so on who you fight. That's bullshit, because your bullshit fucking ranking system got a bunch of people paying sanctioning fees that don't even belong there. You fought this motherfucker at 154 pounds. And here's the thing. Like when I say this, and I mean this. When I watch Terrence Crawford fight, I'm like, the dude can box, we know that. The dude does not have insane power. He has good power. He does not have insane power. Terrence Crawford against Madrimov at 154 pounds. When I watched that fight, I looked at how Crawford looked. I looked at Madrimov, and I just didn't get that feeling at all. Now, if he can do it and pull it off, hey, more power to him. I watched that fight, and nothing that I see in that fight made me say he beats Canelo. I'm watching this fight, and I'm like, man, Canelo gonna knock this motherfucker out, man. He's not aggressive enough for Canelo, man. And his style, like the way he fought Errol Spence made it easy for him. Winging shots, a lot of shots. Errol Spence was throwing, if you look, he's winging the shot, he wasn't even looking. Throwing amateuristic type punches and shit. And Errol Spence made it easy for him. And everybody, not on purpose, that's just the way he fought, stupidly. Okay? Errol Spence showed determination. He kept trying, but he couldn't do anything different. I watched Terrence Crawford's legs. I watched his movement. Now, remember who's saying this shit. I watched his movement, and I'm watching everything go down. And I'm like, all right. Beating Errol Spence does not mean you beat Canelo. I hope Crawford beat the fuck out of Canelo if they fight. But this is going to be a difficult task. Why? Because Terrence Crawford has a huge ego too. And one of the things I feel like he's probably going to get in with Canelo and try to not move and think he can do a Dimitri Bivol. His legs is not going to get him around that ring the way they used to. Even though Canelo doesn't show any footwork, just, upper body head movement coming in, high guard, he doesn't really, he just walks you down. Crawford isn't that swift on his feet. And at some point, they're going to be right in front of each other. Now, if Crawford can carry this weight and it doesn't slow him down, like when he's getting tired, because Canelo's going to make him work. What I believe, and we'll just have to see how it plays out, because like I said, you never know what's going to happen come fight night. But what I believe, and this is what people understand, man, Crawford said he's eating and eating and eating and eating to gain weight. So whatever his walk-around weight is, I don't know. But you eating to gain weight to come up versus someone losing weight to come down, but they're comfortable at that weight, that works against you. You have to carry this weight for 12 rounds. And I believe from the very beginning, Canelo's going to go to the body on him. He's going to test him. He's going to press him. And he's going to put that pressure on him. And I just feel like Canelo's power and him being naturally stronger of the two, because you're not going to punch harder just because you go up in weight. Okay? You're not going to, every time you go, you just harder, harder, harder. Then he's skipping 160 to go to 168. Now, just because I want Crawford to win, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, yeah, I think he's definitely, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not telling you it's impossible for him to win. But he does have a massive ego too, and like, he's always talking about his deadlift and how much he can lift, and he wrestles and all this kind of shit. Okay, cool. So that might make him decide to stand there and try to bang. Canelo has been hit by people that hit way harder than Crawford does. And if you watch that fight with Madrimov, I don't know what anybody saw or think they saw that make them think that he'll beat Canelo. And all this bullshit about Madrimov being better than Canelo, and all these excuses about Madrimov only lost to Ortiz because Ortiz style is custom made. Where the fuck y'all be getting this goofy shit from, man? You know how many times somebody says somebody's style is custom made for somebody, and that motherfucker that they thought was going to win went there and got his ass whooped badly? So certain styles is more custom for, like, yeah, the way this guy fight. I hear that term and it's so overused, man. It doesn't apply to every fucking body. And everybody else want to talk about how styles make fights. Like, you know, that's the only thing that determines the winner. No, sometimes, just like, for example, like I said, we never thought Jermell Charlo would go in there and fight Canelo the way he did, right? Whether he got knocked out or not, or went the distance, we didn't think he's going to do it like that, right? We don't expect Terrence Crawford to do that shit. But you don't know what's going to happen when he feel that first shot from Canelo. It always turns to a different fight when people get hit by this motherfucker for the first time, clean. And the one thing that people need to understand, I think weight-wise, Canelo walks around at a heavier weight than Crawford does. So, bottom line is, even when they rehydrate, he's not going to be the bigger guy. And even still, extra weight isn't better for him. And extra weight will slow him down. He won't be as quick on his feet. His hands won't be faster. That's not going to work for him. That's going to work against him. And I feel like it's not quite the same, but it's kind of, in a way it is. It's kind of like Ali, Joe Frazier 3, somewhat. Because both of them slowed down enough where Ali had to fight and stand more toe-to-toe than he normally would. You know, and Joe slowed down enough, but he was still able to put that pressure on Ali and keep coming forward. And this is what I'm looking at with these two, where both of these guys want to win. So if this fight actually does happen, what I'm saying, you never know what happened. Like Wardley versus Clark 2. Who saw that coming, right? But it's like I say, you never know. But me just looking at both guys and looking at how both guys approach fights and how they, you know, Crawford often starts slow. Canelo sometime right from the very beginning, Canelo comes out, start attacking, and he throws hard shots. He goes to the body. You know, if Crawford can box and move for 12 rounds and outland Canelo and like land power shots on this dude, snap his head back constantly, and, you know, show like he pretty much controlled the fight, man, we could have a fight where he could outbox him and move. Now, do we get a Pernell Whitaker versus Chavez type of thing, and they call that shit a draw, where clearly Pernell was completely outboxing Chavez, easily won that fight, or you know, does he feel like he need a knockout to win against Canelo? I don't know what his mindset is going to be. But bottom line is, it's a fight that I don't think is going to go the way people think it's going to go. Say it like that. But talking that shit about Errol Spence, man, come on, bro. You sound crazy as cat shit, man. What the fuck was that, man? He's not a Hall of Famer. He's chasing what I've already done. What the fuck are you talking about, man? Because even if he's trying to still do what you've already done, he's still a Hall of Famer right now. If he stopped boxing right now, he's in a Hall of Fame. Talk about black people not supporting black people. Talk about people going against black people. And then you sit up here and instead of just saying, hey, man, Errol Spence is a great fighter. I believe he's going to the Hall of Fame. How could you not think he's going to the Hall of Fame? You expressed how you can't stand Tank Davis. You hate him. That guy's arrogant. He's this, he's that. Right? Yeah, he is arrogant. You're arrogant too. You're just as arrogant. But at the same time, Teofimo Lopez talks all this racist shit, and then you joke with him and play with him and then say shit like, I ain't got to whoop his ass because he apologized. All this shit. But that's all you did. But you don't dislike him. You can't stand him. You don't feel that way towards him. Ryan Garcia, racist piece of shit, said what he said, and you ain't do nothing. So let's stop talking about how blacks don't support blacks and how blacks don't get their credit. Then here you are, black, turn around and take credit away from another black man, but then you turn around somehow and have nothing to say about motherfucking Ryan Garcia. Nothing about punk-ass Teofimo Lopez. Bitch ass, I got black people in my family. Yeah, but you didn't say nothing to protect them, did you? No, you made fun of the same nationality as the people that's married into your punk-ass family. Get the fuck out of here, man. That's bullshit. But that's what Terrence Crawford said, man. And I just was like, wow, man. I don't know. It's something in the air where people just don't understand what's really real. So, talk to me in the comment section, y'all. What y'all think about Terrence Crawford comments about Errol Spence? I mean, that's bullshit. I know Errol Spence is going to the Hall of Fame. That's for sure. But why Crawford seemed to think different? And there's people right now in the Hall of Fame that shouldn't be in that motherfucker. It is what it is. Never fall in love with lies. Remember the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.